What is up, everybody? Chris Flick here. Today we're going to be talking about 6 things that we could do as parents, right? Everybody always seems to be complaining about kids these days. Well, guess what? We are the parents of the kids these days. So there's 6 things that we could do here that we could help mitigate some of these negative health effects and to help create some more pro-social, just better suited for life individuals in our children, right? Number 1, replace texting with talking. Talking is a skill. Talking is only, we're only going to be getting comfortable with talking by talking, right? It's kind of exposure therapy. Hey, it might be uncomfortable going in there talking to that bank teller, right? Young Chris Flick did not like that idea, right? We had to go in there and actually talk to a stranger about something. But the more young Chris Flick did it, the better he became at it, all right? So the more times that you put your kid into these uncomfortable situations, doing adult-like things like having a conversation, the better they're going to become at it. Number 2, replace indoor light with sunlight, okay? You know, we have the vitamin D benefits associated with the sun, right? But we also have this visual stimulation that occurs where, we see the full scope of things when we get outside. When we're inside, our focus is so narrow that it could negatively kind of atrophy those muscles in our eyes and our vision here that will allow us to see the big picture, to see the forest through the trees, so to speak, right? So we need to get outside. We need to take in some fresh air. We need to absorb some of that vitamin D, and we need to get out there and just use our eyes, man, and just see everything. The more sunlight that hits our eyes, the better sleep pattern we're going to have. And by doing all of these things here, we're going to be a much more healthy individual. Number 3, replace screen time with people time. This is going to take a lot of work. I was jokingly talking to a homeschool parent the other week, and I'm like, man, if I had to homeschool my kid, I would be terrible because you need to plan activities after activity after activity just to kind of create a pro-social child, right? The easy thing to do is to give them a screen. I think we all learned this during the COVID shutdowns, right? Parents had to work, kids were home. What was the easiest thing to do for some hours of the day? Hey, here's a screen. Go play some video games. Go watch some YouTube. Go watch your favorite show, all right? But we know that screen time leads to problems, negative mental health effects, right? And so we can't use the screen as an answer. So what do we need to do, man? We need some more people time. Like I mentioned earlier about the talking part of it. If you want kids to be more comfortable in social situations, they need to be in those situations more. Replace late nights with sleep, okay? So let's learn, hey, the sun goes down, let's shut it down. There's that old saying, nothing good happens after midnight, right? Well, for kids, I'm like, man, nothing good happens on a school night once the sun goes down, once it's dark out, right? So let's put the screens away, all right? Let's maybe read a book. Maybe we have dinner as a family, and then we start to get ourselves ready for bed. Again, parents, we are in control of the kids these days in terms of some of the decisions that are made on a day-to-day basis. Replacing late nights with sleep could be one of those things that we could help persuade and enforce with our kids. Replace sitting with moving. A lot of these things kind of intermingle, right? What do you think screen time does? It causes kids to sit around and do nothing. What do you think screen time does? Keeps kids inside instead of getting outside, right? What does screen time do? It has kids texting rather than talking, right? As you're seeing, there's a central theme going on here. So we need to replace sitting with moving. 10-minute walk every day with your kid might not be a bad thing, a bad place to start, right? They got PEs getting cut, right? They don't even have that every day anymore. You might have it once a week if you're lucky. We know that through PE, if you do some physical activity 1 day a week, all right, 1 day a week with some instruction for 3 years or more, the rates of childhood obesity greatly decrease. But yet, studies indicate this, right? I'm going to be talking about this in a future video now. But anyhow, nobody seems to put into practice this research. Kids are more inactive than ever, and when they are active, they're involved in a structured sport, a supervised activity. We lost play, and we lost just general movement that is associated with play. So let's get these kids outside, man. Give them a little bit of unstructured time in the backyard or at the park. Cut them loose a little bit with their friends and let them explore human movement. Last one, number 6, replace supplements with real food. We might have to cook sometimes. I know. Not good. Not good for me anyway. The extent of my cooking skills, oatmeal, eggs, maybe some fish on occasion, and I could fire up a hot dog or something like that, right? I can make some sides. I could do some potatoes. I could roast some vegetables, all right? My skills, my culinary skills are subpar, we'll say. But eating real food, getting some fruits and some vegetables with some variety is going to help mitigate some of those negative health effects that we are seeing in our kids. You know, I was talking to a mom this morning. They found this preschool program, and it was awesome because they were outside in the garden. They were eating some of the vegetables there, and she's like, now my teenage or soon-to-be teenage daughter loves her vegetables still to this day. A lot of these things get implanted at a young age. Let's have a lot of variety. Let's try to eat some real foods, and let's try not to rely on those quick grab-and-go items. All right? There's moments that we got to use them. I used one today with my daughter, man. All right? We gave her a little packet of something, a little, a smoothie packet, just because we got to get to the store. It's going to happen. All right? But more times than not, let's try to get some real food in the diet. Again, 6 ways to reduce some of these detrimental health effects. Replace texting with talking. Replace indoor light with sunlight. Replace screen time with people time. Replace late nights with sleep. Replace sitting with moving. Replace supplements with real food. Do this. Put this into play not only with your kids, but in your life. And you're going to be feeling better. They're going to be feeling better. Everybody's going to be happier. And your life is just going to get that much better. Peace, everybody.